Hi everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Tuesday Tricks. One of the reasons that I love performing magic so much is because it gives me the opportunity to tell so many stories. Storytelling, if you think about it, is one of the oldest forms of entertainment. And so, I'll be telling you a story with a deck of cards. This is a story about four brothers. And they were known as the Jacks of all trades. And they were bank robbers, the most notorious in the entire world. Their heists are legendary, and this was one of their greatest. These the four brothers, the four Jacks that we have here, were very skilled in different ways. And so, their goal was the bank, which will represent the deck of cards right here. Now, the four Jacks each had different tasks, and so they gathered together, and they started on the roof of the bank. Now, the first Jack, he was the fastest, so he went all the way down to the vault, which was 3 sets of stairs down, so he could start getting the money from there. The second Jack was the friendliest, and so he went to the first floor to talk to the tellers to convince them to relieve them of their money. And the third Jack was the smartest. He went to the second floor, which is where the alarm system was, so he could disarm that. And the fourth Jack was the wisest. He stayed up on the rooftop so he could keep a watchful eye over his brothers. Everything was going just according to plan, and the money was almost theirs. But in the distance, the wisest Jack heard sirens in the distance. Someone had somehow tipped off the alarm. And so he talked in his walkie-talkie and he told the other Jacks to come one at a time. First, the Jack from the vault, right there. Second, the Jack on the first floor. There's him. And next, the Jack on the alarm. And the brothers were united and made their escape. Thank you. To perform this illusion, all you need is a deck of cards. Any deck of cards will do. If you don't have the four Jacks, if cards are missing, for example, you can use queens or kings or any four of a kind, aces even, and it can change the name of your bank robbers that way. I like to use the four Jacks in my presentation, and you can use this presentation if you like. So all you need is a deck of cards and get that item, and we'll come back with the explanation. You have your deck of cards, and now we are ready for the explanation on how to perform the four Jacks trick. So what's happening is a method in magic which is known as a multiple lift, okay? And I'm going to teach it to you. When I show the Jacks at the very first part of the trick, I show the four Jacks and the bank. The audience only sees these four Jacks, but the secret is actually what's behind the Jacks. And what's behind the Jacks are 3 random cards. And these 3 random cards are sitting in the palm of your hand like this, and these 4 Jacks go in front, and they block the view of those 3 extra cards. So, when you have your 4 Jacks like this, you show them in your hand and then square them up and put them on the top of the deck. And now the audience thinks that there's 4 Jacks on top of the deck, but actually the top 3 cards are the 3 random cards, and those get placed anywhere in the deck to achieve your magic effect. Now the setup is very simple. All you have to do is take 3 random playing cards and put them in the palm of your hand in dealer's position. And dealer's position is with your fingers on the side and your thumb on the other side like this, and you pinch the cards like that. You take your 4 Jacks, and all you do is to hide those cards, you place them over those 3 cards. I like to alternate them red, black, it just looks better that way. And so you place the cards over those 3 random cards, and now they're completely blocked from view, and your setup is all done. You take your 4 Jacks, you tell the story about the bank robbers or the Jacks of all trades, or they could be 4 kings perhaps looking for a treasure. The story is up to you. So you take the 4 Jacks, and what you do is with your other hand, you push all of the cards together. So now the audience thinks you have a stack of 4 cards, but actually you have a stack of 7 with 3 random cards on top. That entire stack gets placed onto the top of the deck very quickly, and now most of your setup is already done. You proceed with the story. I tell you the first Jack, and I don't actually show the face because that would show the random card. You say the first Jack goes to the vault because he was the fastest of the 4 brothers, and you put that card on the bottom. Make sure not to show the card accidentally as you're putting it in. Make sure you always keep the back towards the audience. The second Jack went to the first floor because he was the friendliest and he was able to talk with the bank tellers. And the third Jack, he was the smartest, and so he went to the second floor to disable the alarm system. And now the 3 cards are in the deck, different positions, and my setup is now 4 jacks on top of the deck. So with that 4th jack on top, I say he's the wisest. He stayed on the top on the roof to watch out for his fellow brothers. And so that gives me the 4th jack on top, but actually the other 3 jacks are already on top of the deck. So now the story continues. I say, oh, but look, in the sirens, they hear the police are coming. It's time to make your escape. So now for the magic. And I usually, you can keep that jack on the side or you can put it on top of the deck face up, whichever way you want to. I put one finger on the center of the deck, holding tightly. With my other hands, my middle and thumb go on the top and bottom of the deck, and then they lift up like this. And when they lift up, you make a riffling action, and it looks and sounds very magical. So it's like 1. And then you can show the top card is a jack. 2. Do it a second time. The 2nd jack comes to the top, and then 3. The 3rd jack comes to the top. They make their escape. You don't have to do it 3 times. I like to do it 3 times just for the story. Things are always good in 3s. You can just put the jack on top and say, he called his other brothers, and then the jacks came to the top, and you flip them over one at a time that way. So that way of presenting is all up to you. It's important to end the story and the conclusion of the story on your final magic trick. So when I do the 4 jacks, I put them together and say the jacks made their escape, and then so show the 4 jacks like that's the end of the story. And once that's the end of the story, you make a pause, and then that way the audience knows it's their turn to clap or to say thank you. So that's the trick, the setup, and the story. Once again, just to make sure you've got it, you have 3 random cards which are stacked together in your palm like this, fingers on the side, thumb on the other side. Hold those nice and firmly so they don't accidentally fall out. To set up, you take the jacks and put them over the cards just like this. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Just like that, all in a row. So you have your 4 jacks on bottom and the 3 random cards on top. And then that way you can show your cards without showing the cards behind. The jacks all get squared together, so with your thumb and first finger you just push the jacks up and then pull the jacks down like that to square everything together. And then you put all the cards together on top of the deck quickly. You don't want to show this edge too much because if they see this edge, they might see more than 4 cards. So when you're here with the jacks, put it down quickly, square up the deck so that it's nice and uniform. And then you can proceed with your story. The 3 random cards get placed in different parts of the deck, the basement, the 1st floor, and then the 2nd floor. You can even leave them out like this and then square them up at the same time, and that looks kind of nice as well. And then the 4th jack stayed on the roof, of course. And then make the magic words and gestures. You can do this, I like this a lot with the sound. The jacks come up to the top, and you reveal and say thank you. Thank you so much for watching the explanation on the 4 jacks trick. One thing that can really help you if you're struggling is to take it really slow and also to write down a script or an outline of what you're going to be saying. If you watch any play from high school level to Broadway level, they always have scripts and they always have what they're going to say written out exactly with the pauses and what they're doing on each point of inserting the jacks into the deck. So that will really help your presentation. Also to practice in a mirror and then show your friends and family. And your family can give you really good tips as well. So make sure you ask for their advice on the magic. Thank you so much for watching. Please tune in next week for Tuesday Tricks.